gonna make a maze game on Scratch. First, we're gonna choose the backdrop. We press backdrop and I had an uploaded backdrop. It's a backdrop of a maze. I'm gonna use it today because it's a simple maze game backdrop. We're gonna add some obstacles and a little Scratch cat. We're gonna have to change the size of the Sprite 1. I'm not gonna be changing Sprite 1 anywhere. I'm just gonna change its size and use it. I think this cat is perfect for the maze. It's a cat, a vulnerable animal, if it's in a dangerous maze. So it's perfect. There. The cat's size is gonna be 23 and it's gonna be placed at the starting of the maze. Isn't that perfect? Now we need to add some obstacles. So we'll go over to the sprite section and go to fantasy. Let's choose a ghost. Wow, this is too big for a maze that small, isn't it? So we're gonna change the ghost size to, I guess, 15. It looks big enough for the ghost. Well, yeah, I'm sure it is big enough for the ghost. We're gonna place the ghost right there. See? It's a perfect place for the ghost. And you know, a monster makes noises that are spooky. So we're gonna go to the sound section and we're gonna choose a sound. Let's try a sound like spooky string. Yep, let's use it. Well, we're just gonna make it not soft enough. We're just gonna mute it for a while. And then, okay, unmute. Oh, there is no unmute. Okay, loud. Yeah, okay, we're gonna need the sound. Okay, this sound is perfect. Guys, we have already got a ghost sound that's gonna be called spooky string. Now, one obstacle is for once not enough on a maze that mazy. So we're gonna go back to choose a sprite. We go to fantasy section, choose Frank. After Frank's uploaded, we give him a nice size. For a person or a monster that big, this size should be about 12. So there it is. Perfect size for Frank. We're gonna place him right about there. Frank is gonna be over here on this place, just a little bit to the left. Perfect. Frank is on the perfect position. Now we also give him a sound. We go to the sound section and choose crazy laugh. We're gonna choose it for Frank. We go back to the code section and one little more sprite. Just a monster, Dragon 1. Well, it takes Sprites a while to upload. After that, Dragon 1 is for one too big for the maze again. So for a dragon, let's choose the size 17. Perfect. We're gonna place Dragon 1 right about there. Now, have you ever seen a dragon that doesn't roar or make crazy sounds? So we go back to choose a sound, and this time we'll be choosing a wolf. Wolf howl. There. That's for the dragon. To make it a little spooky and mysterious, the cat would definitely want to go and check it out. Well, in our game, we'll also need a new backdrop. So we press the backdrop, go to backdrops, and let's name backdrop 1 lose. So then we choose fill. Well, of course, we choose the square. Well, choose a reddish type of color. I'll choose this one. And then we draw a rectangle there. And on that rectangle, we're gonna write. So we press text. Just choose any text. Then write you. Okay, don't forget to give the font a color. Best to give it black. Then we're gonna write over here, you have been eaten by a monster. And we just give it a little bigger size. So just, like this, and then a little smaller. Haha, perfect. Just put it from the middle and put it in the middle right there. Well, this is gonna be our first backdrop. So now we go back to the coding part and we're gonna start our code. Code for the cat sprite. So we click it, and as we start our game, we start it with a one green flag click. After that, we go to the look section and scroll down and look for the show block. We attach it, go to motion, choose a go to position block. Those are our first three blocks. Well, these are going to be used to start the game, show the sprite, and it goes to the position of the starting of the game. We're going to go to looks and, well, we're going to switch backdrop to this one. Then we're going to go back to motion and set a rotation style to left and right. You get it, left and right, so it can turn left and right. I'm going to be taking a forever loop from control section. After the forever loop, we're not done. We're gonna choose an if-then block and put it inside the forever loop. Then we go to sensing. We're gonna choose the key. Instead of key space, we're gonna choose key up arrow pressed. After that, we're gonna go to motions and choose pull down and choose change Y by 10 and choose it with change by 5. And then we're gonna choose a point and direction block, and we're going to choose a 90 to 0. That is the front. So when we press the up arrow, so it should go like that, and down did not code for yet. So now we're going to go back to control section, choose another if then block, and we're going to go back to the sensing section and repeat it all over, just with a down arrow instead. See? We're going to go to motion and change Y by, well, this one should be, yes, it should be -5, right? So we're going to type in -5 over there. Then we're going to go to point in direction. In that, we're going to choose like 180, because when it goes down, don't you think it should be like that? So perfect, up and down keys are done. But now the question is, are the right and left keys done? No, they're not. But we're going to do them by going to the control section. We're going to choose if then block, put it there, go to sensing, choose a key space pressed, but not space, right arrow. Then we're going to go to motion, choose a point and direction block, and a change X by. This time it's X. The X and Y coordinates are two different coordinates. X is right to left, Y is up and down. What we have to do is change X by 5. Point in direction 90 is perfect. So now the last key left, that's going to be the left key. We're going to choose another if-then loop and go to sensing. We're going to choose the key space block. Instead of up, down, right, we're going to choose left. All we need now are 2 more blocks to finish the key code, so that we can move the keys easily, like so easily. Smooth as you play games, don't you? So you can move the keys easily, especially if you're playing on computer. This one is going to be -5. And this 90 is going to be -90. See? Now this part of the code is done, but all of it is still not done. So we go to we go back to control and choose an if-then block. I know you're wondering why, but let's find out. So we go to the sensing block part and choose a if touching color. Which color we want? Well, we're gonna pick the color by a color picker. That's a new thing for you, I know. We're gonna choose this black. There, we picked it. If it touches the color of the maze, So what do we want to happen? It to switch the backdrop to game over backdrop. That we're gonna choose switch backdrop to and choose a backdrop lose. After that, we're gonna hide this on sprite by choosing hide. There. But now we're still not done. We still have to code for these three monsters. If this sprite touches those monsters, what should happen? Well, it's pretty simple code. It's just as simple as all of this. I know, pretty simple. So we go here if it is touching, not mouse pointer, ghost. So we also want to switch the backdrop. And we also want to hide. So it's like the same code, just teeny tiny differences. Like the slightest. We're going to do the same thing for all of the monsters, basically. So I hope you understand why we made a loose backdrop now, so that when it touches the danger, it like kind of, well, gone. Lost its lives from the game. No lives, only one chance. I know, sorry, but Kitty, there's only one chance. We've got to win it. Dragonman is kind of a nice cartoony dragon, and actually it was a nice sprite, so that's why I chose it. Which one did you choose? I really want to find out. Because I like to know choices so I can improve mine and hide. Here, so see whenever it touches this black one, it'll be eaten by a monster. But actually, no. So we're gonna be careful. It's as if these black things are tiny creepers that can eat you up. So counts on a monster, right? Now we're gonna code for the ghost. Code for this ghost is pretty simple, like so simple. We just need a few blocks. All we need is the one click show block and then the go to block. After the go to block, we want a forever loop from the control section. To wait. Wait 1 second would be too much. 0.1 would not. And then we're gonna make it into a glide block. Glide would be 0.5 seconds. To random position, no. We're gonna choose this block instead. 0.5 seconds. And it's gonna go to the position it is. And then we're gonna choose another of the same block, glide block, 0.5 seconds again. That makes a 1 second. But instead of this time, we want it to go to, the Y should remain same. The X should turn to 76. No, Y should remain 6 and X remains 6. And then this one is going to be a -1. So minus 0, 1, and 0. There. So this is what's going to happen. This ghost is going to be gliding. Whoa, that's too fast. So let's just give it a whole second. There. Now the ghost is, for one, not ready yet. We're going to choose this when backdrop switches to lose. We definitely want the ghost to hide as well, don't we? There. So when the backdrop is going to switch to lose, so the ghost will also hide. But now we have to repeat the same code for the rest two monsters, Frank and the dragon. So we go to Frank and do the same code. I know. You can just copy if you forget, so it's pretty easy to copy it. Forever loop is used so that it can keep gliding. Did you know that? Okay, if you did, so great job. If you didn't, so now you know. The Frank is going to be gliding from here to here. So that means we're going to change the x-axis into -95. There. Now, we just need to give it the same kind of instruction so that it can also hide when the background changes to lose. See? So simple. Now the dragon. That's our last one, isn't it? Then our maze game will officially be ready. If that's what you think, so sure. And it could be, but who knows, we even add something else, right? For a little more fun. Do you like fun things? Because I do. Plus, coding for games is an advantage of making amazing games and playing them. Okay, so we go back to the control section, choose a forever loop in motion glide, and then another glide, but this time the dragon is gonna go to, well, over here we're gonna change this one into 130. There. Last touch. Switch to loose, so all we need now is for our sprite to hide. That will be putting the block right there. See, it's ready. Let's check it out. Okay, let's be careful not to touch the black one, or else we'll be eaten by the stranglers. Whoops, ghost ahead. Let's be very careful. Who knows if we get eaten by the ghost? I know, it's hard to get eaten by a ghost, but it's possible. So now, oops, we've been eaten by a monster. Ghost is too fast. I may want to slow it down a little. Wait, about 0.5 or, okay, wait, just wait 1 second, okay, Ghost? So we start again. There, that's perfect. Let's just try to get to the end. Wait, you want to make it a little more fun and realistic, so we're even gonna put a block there. We're gonna go to control section, wait, block, wait 1 second, and then we're gonna go sound, play sound, spooky string. That's what the ghost is gonna see after 1 second. And then we're gonna go for Frank. We're gonna go to control, wait 1 second, but not 1 second, right? It would be too less for Frank. Wait about 5 seconds. And then we wanted to play the sound of crazy laugh. I know, sounds so crazy. But I guess Frank should be crazy. That's what I think. Oops. Okay, blasting dragon. The dragon is also gonna make a spooky sound. It is the spooky maze, so spooky sound, fair. In fact, not fair, fun. And this time we'll wait about 7 seconds, and we're gonna go back to sound and play sound. No, yeah. There. Now let's run. Oops. Too far. Whoa, I can't pass it. It's too hard. Can you pass it? Well, if you pass it. Great, alright, that's spooky. Nice. A great project, and so spooky as well.